Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM, brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Good Saturday morning, and welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. But this isn't Larry Ray, this is Bill Cooksey. And I want to take a minute, Larry and all the listeners, you've heard me talk about the National Wildlife Federation having so many different programs. I mean, we have monarch butterfly people, to public lands people, to, some pretty heavy hook and bullet folks like Vanishing Paradise and several others around the country. And one of our really cool programs has been out west pretty much exclusively until just recently, and that's Artemis. And Artemis is the name of the Greek goddess of hunting and wildlife and wild places. So you can infer from that the Artemis program is really about, getting women, not only getting women into the outdoors and hunting and fishing, but, keeping them there and building up those who are already doing it to, as examples. So with the direction things have gone with hunting license sales and that sort of thing, it couldn't come at a better time. So when we saw that Artemis, Mike Butler called me and said, man, Artemis is advertising for a Southeastern coordinator. And we said, man, we have to find someone from Tennessee. But Butler and I failed. Yet somehow divine providence intervened. And Artemis hired Ashley Chance, who is a naturalized citizen, I guess you'd say, of Tennessee. Ashley, welcome in and tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into conservation and into promoting the sports of hunting and fishing to women.
Sure. Well, thank you, Bill. I guess I got into wildlife and hunting at a young age, deer hunting with my dad and uncles. I am a naturalized citizen of Tennessee. I was born in Minnesota, and so that's where my first experiences occurred. And that kind of set the stage for a real interest in wildlife and how things in the natural world work. And that led me to get a bachelor's degree in wildlife ecology from the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. And I worked all around the country on a number of different wildlife research projects, primarily focused on deer, whitetails, and some mule deer. So I got to see a lot of different places and get experiences really hands-on with deer and some other animals as well. Following that, I spent a couple years in the Peace Corps dealing with some natural resources issues in West Africa, and then came back to the U.S., headed down to Mississippi to get my master's degree at Mississippi State University, also in wildlife research. And now I find myself in East Tennessee, and I'm fortunate enough to have become a part of the Artemis program. I just feel so lucky to be in this role because it's really my personal values and passions made professional.
Well, I think you answered that question for me pretty directly because when I was looking through this and I saw that Artemis, bold sports women creating fresh tracks for conservation. I mean, I like that expression, and that is something that Bill had. I know he had braced you for me, and I really appreciate Bill comparing me to I've been doing this since Moby Dick was a minnow. So, or as we say in Mississippi, a minner. Okay, I mean that's the way That's the way we talk here. I know how you talk different in East Tennessee, but I really appreciate the first ever Southeast Regional Coordinator for the National Wildlife Federation Artemis program. And I went to the website and looked up the information and things along that line. And hey, my hat's off to you. 2 years in Guyana, West Africa, in the Peace Corps. You're only the second person I've ever known was in the Peace Corps, and that's 2 years out of your life. And I'm assuming that was had to have a profound effect on your daily life, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I lived in a community of about 1,700 people. Did not have running water, and I had electricity for, 6 6 hours every 4 days or so.
My God. Okay.
So it was an adventure. It was a wonderful experience, and one of the things that it really sharpened for me was how fortunate we are here in North America to have a system where,
isn't it? Yeah.
Our resource is managed intensively, and it is regulated, and it is a participatory process where sportsmen and women fund management. And so we have a voice and we have a say. Unfortunately, in Ghana, they've experienced a lot of overharvest of wildlife there, and we have problems as well. But I'm glad to be a part of.
It must have really come about if you came from Guyana to Starkville, Mississippi. That's quite a combination. That's I don't know what Bill will not say that, or maybe Frank, but to go from Guyana to get your master's at Mississippi State on determine how hunting pressure influenced deer movements. Now, as an avid deer hunter, and I see you're a hunter, you're also a fisherman, and I was okay with that till you got to horseback riding, and the only horse I ever rode was in front of Kroger, for a quarter. But I've had bad experience on horseback. But I think, how did you determine to go to get that, to get that master's and think about deer and talk about this opportunity you have now that you want to, what do you want to accomplish now?
Sure. Well, I guess the way that I ended up in Mississippi was, for wildlife researchers, getting a master's degree, it's not like just signing up and paying tuition. You actually apply, for a specific position. So I found the position. It was working with deer. It was a really cool position because I was capturing mature bucks and GPS collaring them.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of what drew me to it initially. And it was a wonderful project. Learned a lot. What brought me to East Tennessee, actually, when I was in Mississippi, I met my now husband, who's also a wildlife biologist.
There you go. All right.
And he got a position here in Tennessee, so we moved here, and then this position came up, and I got to tell you, it's a dream come true.
That's pretty cool. What? And your husband's name is what?
Don Chant.
And what does Don do for the wildlife folks? What's his job? He is a manager for the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency at a WMA here in East Tennessee. All right. Well, good. You have ties. I mean, you from Minnesota to Ghana to Mississippi State and Starkville, or Stark Vegas, as one of my friends calls it. To now, and so where do you live in East Tennessee? We live in Knoxville. You live in the Knoxville area. Okay. We have some big deer in West Tennessee. Do you know that, Ashley? I do, actually. I was fortunate enough to work in a part of Mississippi that has even bigger deer, I might argue. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. I'm still waiting to kill my first one this year. Now you're going to, make me feel bad. So, hey, size doesn't matter. You got to fill the freezer. There you go. Well, that's right. I like that. And Bill, so this job that she has is a very important job, isn't it? I mean, well, it is, Larry, and you as you've been a commercial appeal writer, and one of your predecessors, Nash Buckingham, of course, his wife Irma was a huge hunter. That's right. There are women all over who hunt and fish, yet they aren't talked about, and it's not really propped up, and so it's kind of a tough spot. And Ashley, just real quickly, what are some of your goals, and how can women get involved with you? Absolutely. So our big goal is really just to connect sportswomen. So we know that there's women out there that are hunting and fishing, but we also know there's a lot of barriers for them getting into those sports. And one of the big ways that we see them overcoming those barriers are just by having somebody to go with, by meeting another woman that's involved. And so that's our big goal, is just to foster those connections, create a community, and also to imbue these folks with a real conservation ethic and an awareness of conservation issues that are local to them that they can then advocate. Well, I think this is a time that we're dealing with situations. There's more and more people outdoors. More and more people are hunting and fishing. We know we've broken all these records for number of license this year and everything like that. this is a perfect time, Ashley, for the women. And the women in outdoors is exploding, folks. I mean, clothing wise, whatever it might be. And so there's more and more involved in this. So in the Southeast, so what is your territory then?
So I'm working in 8, maybe 9 states that span from Oklahoma on up to North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah. It's a big range.
It's a big, yeah.
So I guess if there's any women that are listening, or maybe men who know women that would be interested in this program, there's a lot of ways that you can connect with us. We've got a website, we have a podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and we're actually going to be opening up our call for ambassador applications in January.
All right.
So we have some folks on the ground that are, formally affiliated with us as volunteers, and that they're kind of our boots on the ground, especially right now during COVID when I can't be everywhere. So
how what's that website? How do they get in touch with you? Found out about it?
It's Artemis. I think it's artemis.nws.org.
Okay.
But if you just Google Artemis,
just Google Artemis, you're going to come up with the Greek goddess first, and then maybe a picture of you second. I don't know, but it's.
She got it. Artemis.nws.org.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. I knew Bill Cooksey would have that. Ashley Chance, thank you for taking time to be with us on this Saturday morning on Outdoors with Larry Ray. I wish you nothing but success. A great holiday time for you and your husband and everything else. And we'll talk to you down the road, okay?
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we're going to talk fishing. We're going to talk fishing right now. We might talk shoes, too. Most of my family wore shoes, I guess. So we'll be right back.